sisters, boys and girls, come and worship. Even if you're tired or worn out, come and worship. Lay down the heavy things you are carrying. Come and worship. Listen to what Jesus wants to tell you. Come and worship. See if you can discover how Jesus wants to use you. Come and worship. For Jesus is humble and gentle, and he will give us everything we need to follow him. So just come and worship.
Hello, this weekend is the YP anniversary. Last night we had a social where we had great fun taking part in the Birmingham Citadel Stay-at-Home Olympics with events such as paper aeroplane javelin and mop equestrian dressage. Today the young people are going to lead us in worship. In Sunday school and primary last term we started looking at Old Testament characters, one of these of course being Noah. His story of hope, God's promises and rainbows seems especially poignant at this time. The young people have been working really hard at home over the last few weeks to bring you this act of worship, and as always their thoughts and ideas are their own. Thank you to everyone who has contributed. So please join us in worship as the primary start us off with something a little different, reminding us of the story of Noah.
Archie, rah!
What are the flowers?
Okay.
Go. What about a frog? What about a cow? And a pig? Look at mummy. Oh, and a penguin. What does the penguin do? Beep, 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 beep.
I'm a little bear. I'm nice to meet you, and I have a scary attitude. Rah!
God was angry. The people of the world were sinning. But Noah was a good man. God told Noah to build an ark and put 2 of each animal on it. All aboard! God made a great flood that covered the earth, but Noah and his animals were safe aboard the ark. Noah sent a dove to find land. It came back with an olive branch. Then God promised to never make a great flood again.
The singing company is singing Spiritual Medley. We would love you to join in and follow us with the actions.
I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. When the kids sing up the wine, I'm gonna sing by Jesus' side. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. Swing low, swing chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, swing chariot, coming for to carry me home. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, this train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. All aboard for the gospel story. This train is bound for glory. This train. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. When there's dancing up the wine, I'm gonna shout, shout. I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna shout. Praise the Lord. When it's safe, I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout, praise the Lord.
Dear God, thank you for the story of Noah in the Bible. It helps us to always remember that you love us very much. Amen.
Dear God, during these difficult times, we thank you that you are always here with us. You are our constant when everything around us is changing. Thank you for the hope that loving you gives us. Amen.
Noah was a man who worshipped God. Everyone else hated and disobeyed God. One day, God said something shocking. I will destroy this wicked world, God told Noah. Only your family will be saved. God warned Noah that a great flood would come over and cover the earth. Build a wooden ark, a boat big enough for you and your family and many animals. Noah was ordered. God gave Noah exact instructions. Noah got busy. Probably people mocked as Noah explained why he was making an ark. Noah kept building. He also kept telling people about God. Nobody listened. Noah had great faith. He believed God even though rain had never fallen before. Soon the ark was ready to be loaded with supplies. Now came the animals. God brought 7 of some species, 2 of others. Birds great and small, beasts tiny and tall, made their way to the ark. Perhaps the people shouted insults at Noah as he loaded the animals. They did not stop sinning against God. They did not ask to enter the ark. Finally, all the animals and birds were aboard. Come into the ark, God invited Noah. You and your family, Noah, his wife, and his 3 sons and their wives entered the ark. Then God shut the door. When the rain came down, a great downpour soaked the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Floodwaters poured over towns and villages. When the rain stopped, even the mountains were underwater. Everything that breathed air died. As the waters rose, the ark floated on top. It may have been dark inside, maybe bumpy, but even scary, but the ark sheltered Noah from the flood. After 5 months of flooding, God sent a drying wind. Slowly the ark came to a rest high in the mountains of Ararat. Noah stayed inside another 40 days as the water lowered. Noah sent a raven and a dove out of the ark's open window, not finding a dry, clean place to rest. A week later, Noah tried again. The dove came back with a new olive leaf in its beak. The next week, Noah knew the earth was dry because the dove did not return. God told Noah it was time to leave the ark. Together, Noah and his family unloaded the animals. How grateful Noah must have felt. He built an altar and worshipped God, who had saved him from his family from the awful flood. God gave Noah a wonderful promise, never again, and he sent a flood to judge human sin. God gave a great reminder of his promise. The rainbow was a sign of God's promise. Noah and his family found new beginnings after the flood. In time of descendants, people on the whole earth. All the nations of the world came from Noah and his children. During the great flood, Noah and his family were stuck inside the ark. We can relate to this because during the pandemic we are currently living in, we are also feeling very stuck in and trapped. Noah didn't quite know what was going to happen. This is how many people in our communities are feeling right now. Just like Noah, did we need to put our trust in God and have faith in his care for us? Remember, God is always just a prayer away.
Noah simply trusted God and obeyed him, just as we do too. We now have the song Simply Trusting.
During Noah's lifetime, people seemed to be acting very wickedly. This made God unhappy because people seemed to be thinking more about themselves than about God.
Noah, however, was a good man. He loved and obeyed God, and God loved Noah very much. God actually loved all the people as much as Noah. But at this time, only Noah was listening to God.
God told Noah to build an ark, a bigger boat. So Noah followed God's plan and built a boat that was 1.5 footballs long. That's a huge boat. Noah's neighbors laughed at him because there wasn't any water in the desert where they lived. But God told Noah that a great flood was coming. Noah tried to warn the people to change their ways so that they could hear God too. But they wouldn't listen. They just kept on with their selfish lives.
God asked Noah to collect 2 of all the creatures of the earth and bring them to the ark. He also told the animals to find Noah, so it wasn't hard for Noah to gather them together.
Pairs of each kind of animal were put safely inside the ark before it began to rain. Noah's wife and his 3 sons and their wives were also safe on the boat. When everyone was aboard, God shut the door.
Noah and his family and the animals lived in the ark for 7 days before the first raindrops fell. Then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Soon the earth was covered with water. After it stopped raining, the water continued to rise for 150 days. The ark landed in the mountain range of Ararat during the 7 months of the flood. God sent a big wind and the waters began to evaporate. Noah and the floating zoo had to stay in the ark for several more months while the earth slowly dried out.
Finally, Noah sent a raven out of the ark's window to look for land. The raven never returned. Noah waited another week for the water level to go down, and then sent a dove to do the same thing. The dove couldn't find a place to rest, so it returned to the ark. Another week passed, and then Noah sent the dove out again.
This time it came back with an olive branch. No one now knew that the water was enough for the branch to show. When Noah sent off to the dove a week later, it didn't return. The dove had found a place to live on dry land.
Altogether, Noah and his family and the animals lived on the ark for 1 year, 1 month and 27 days. It was now time for all the creatures and Noah's family to move off the ark.
Noah and his family and the animals needed to start life over again. After everyone left the ark, Noah prayed to God, thanking him for keeping everyone safe. Suddenly, a bright rainbow filled the sky. This was God's promise that he would never flood the earth again.
The YP Band are now going to bring you their piece. It's called Trinity Praise and encourages us to glorify and praise God in all the earth.
seen rainbows in the windows of houses as you take your daily walk? How many of you have even got one in your own window for others to spot? Rainbows nowadays have become a symbol of hope and gratitude which has been bringing our communities together. Everyone seems to have adopted the rainbow and now it is everywhere. We can't physically shop, but online companies are trying to include it in their designs. I have seen clothing, jewellery and gift cards, all with the rainbow being the main focus. Looking back to the very first book of the Bible, a rainbow was used by God as a symbol of promise after the flood. He promised that the rainbow was a sign of his agreement between him and every living thing on earth, that he would never destroy all life on earth again. Genesis chapter 9 verses 13 to 15 says, I am putting the rainbow in the clouds. It is the sign of the agreement between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth, a rainbow appears in the clouds. This promise was made by God at the very beginning of time for us as Christians. It reminds us that God provides hope for the future, even when we don't think times like this could ever end. What have these clouds looked like for you over the last few months? You may have missed seeing family, cancelled celebrations, lost holidays or even lost your job. For me, the start of the clouds really came in when the announcement of schools being closed. Being in year 11, I was meant to be sitting my GCSEs. I knew I'd worked incredibly hard to prepare for these, and I was angry and sad that I would not be able to prove how hard I had worked. I also felt anxious about what the future would hold, especially with where I was studying in September for my A-levels. Would people believe the grades that I'd been awarded? Would teachers give me the right grades that I believed I could achieve with a couple more months of study ahead? However, I could still see many rainbows of promise ahead of me. I still had many things to look forward to in the future. The rainbows were still there, the promise of my prom, school music tour of Barcelona, volunteering in a local special needs school, attending summer school, and my national citizen service were all ahead of me. However, slowly these rainbows started to fade away, and the clouds increasing as one by one these things were cancelled, leaving me feeling that there was nothing left. I talked about how I was feeling to my mum one day, and she reminded me to think about how fortunate I was to have so many opportunities lying ahead of me that had been cancelled, and that there would be many people who didn't have these and were experiencing tougher times than we were. I started to look through my cloud of disappointment and tried to see how I still had rainbows ahead of me. I had time to myself to sleep more, but I've also been spending more time on my hobbies. I've been making cards for others to cheer them up, posting them here and there, finding ways of keeping in touch with other people, having a go at writing my own music, preparing my A-level work, reading about the new subjects I'll be taking, baking treats for Mum and Dad while they have been at school, and even being a teacher to Callum. I have noticed the different ways that people have been rainbows to me as well. A surprise parcel in the post, an encouraging card, a special delivery of cake, text messages, and being able to stay connected with church through all the Zooms and devotions that people are sharing. All these things show me that God's promise of the rainbow still exists now, and we need to hold on to that promise always. Even through this time from us we made difficult and frustrating, we can always turn to the one who's always there for us, ready to listen and understands how we're feeling. There is still lots that I'm sure of, how my results will look, what college I'll be going to, when I'll be able to see my family, but I know there are promises ahead through my faith. Psalm 119 verse 116 says, Sustain me, my God, according to your promise, and I will live. Do not let my hopes be dashed. I pray that we'll be able to take hope in this thought that God is ever present, even if we think our rainbows are fading.
We would now like to sing Showers of Blessing. The first verse reads, There shall be showers of blessing, this promise of love. There shall be seasons refreshing, sent from the Saviour above. Noah put his faith in God that he would protect all the people on the ark. At this time we must put our faith in God that will overcome this virus and be together soon.
is stronger than fear. Hope over fear. Hope is passion for what is possible. Hope is power. Hope comes from believing the promises of God. Hope is love.
I rest my soul on Jesus when the mountains shake. I put my trust in Jesus the moment I awake. And when my soul is lost at sea, He will be my rock, my vision be in Christ alone. This grace is all we've got. His love is like a mighty ocean. His love for me will never stop. Oh, His arms are strong enough to carry me through it all by the grace of God. So I, upon His shoulders, safely brought this far. Helper of my helpless soul, the King of broken hearts. His love is like the mighty ocean. His love for me will never stop. Oh, His arms are strong enough to carry me through it all by the grace of God. When breath grows still and night draws near, I will not be afraid. I know